Hello, I'm Louisa. Welcome to my weekly intuitive astrology show where I help people get clearer about their lives and know the next best step to focus on. If you've ever wondered why certain patterns seem to hold you back, then this show is for you. Join me today as I explore the planets of 4 individuals with burning questions and share planetary insights for all. Hello! Hey, it's so nice to be streaming live to do the show. My name is Louisa Tanner Munson from Feel Good Astrology, but this is my new show, Ask Louisa. Now, if you've already checked into newrealitytv.com, you'll already see that there are, I think, 3 or 4 episodes already up there, which are pre-recorded, where I've actually done mini readings for people in the past. But today I'm doing them live. And so with it may come some issues, you never know, as you know, as happens with live TV. But before we get going, may I just welcome you all. Thank you all for joining me today. And I can see I've got some people in the chat room, so let's just quickly say hello. So we've got Penny Albertella, Jewelry and Meditations, joining us. Hi everyone, I'm here live from my sickbed, blooming viruses. Oh Penny, I'm so sorry to hear that. We've also got Maria Angelo here. Glad to be here. Hi, Maria. Very nice to meet you and to have you here. We've also got Deb saying, hi, Louisa. Hello. Hi, Deb. We've also got lovely Sunia Wolf. Hi, my love. How are you? It's Nina and Henry. They've revealed their alter ego. We've also got my good friend Nubianette. Cheers. It's sparkling water with vinegar, of course. I hope you're very well, my love. And we've also got Rhea joining us as well. Hi. So, we got more people coming in and Flexing Fate as well. Hello. So it's lovely to be streaming live. I really do enjoy this. And hopefully you'd have seen that if you wanted to apply to have a live reading tonight, it is names out of a hat. You can actually see that I've got names in here. There's quite a few of them. So I'm going to be picking 4, hopefully. We've also got Bambi Jones joining us. Hiya, hello, how are you? And what I aim to do is to do as many as I can. I know I can do 3 really full, good 20-minute readings. Obviously, it's slightly less than that because it's an hour show. And, you know, it's scheduled, so I have to be on, you know, absolutely precise with my timing. But I may be able to offer some help, you know, in 10-minute readings. Let's see how it goes. I always think that wherever the energy takes me is where I need to be. And so please, you know, just I ask for your patience and also your love, because I really do think this is co-created. I think, you know, if you've got good thoughts and feelings for me, the absolute best will come out. I do tend to channel as well when I'm doing astrology, you know, so I'm an intuitive astrologer. I trained in astrology, but my style is really, really intuitive. You know, I really do kind of see where it takes me. So what I'm going to do in just a moment, I'm going to, that's lovely. So Flexing Fate said, cheers to the kindness you share in these readings, good karma coming your way. Well, bless you. That's so kind. I can see someone's already liked the show. That also helps. That's also beautiful. Gives me lots of good juju. One thing I will say, it's a little bit like going to see a medium. You know, I'm sure you've all done this at time to time, where you've gone to see a spiritualist do readings, and you know you might not get picked. You know, they might not tune into one of your loved ones, but however, there's usually a message that comes out that might be useful for you. So even if I'm not picking your name today, just notice the bits that seem to be speaking at you, because you know, I'm really connecting in from the perspective that everyone here will get something of use. So that's really what I'm hoping for. So fingers crossed for that. A couple more messages and then I'm going to get cracking because I really do need to do as much as I can. So Jackie Hopkins, hello Jackie, how are you? Sending love and light, beautiful. And back to you, thank you so much. And Maria Angelo has already said, I have, and it's mind-blowing. That's fantastic. I'm guessing that's about the love. So what I'm going to do is pick out my first name. Of course, I want everyone to win. And So the very first person I'm going to be working with today is Heather. Now, because I'm just picking them out, I haven't actually got them preloaded or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up astrodeets.com. I'm going to show you how to do it live, because that way you can also maybe check out your own charts as well. So I've gone to a site called astro.com. I've completely stripped it down so that these are all today's people who are getting the readings. And I've got Heather's birthday here, which is 26th of January. So your birthday's coming up. Whoops, 1974 would be better. You were born at 8:30 a.m. So I'm just popping that in. And birthplace, place of birth is Plymouth. Now, I'm pretty sure that was Plymouth, UK. Let me just double. No, yeah, it is Plymouth, UK. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring up Heather's chart right now. And I'm not putting any bells or whistles. You can adapt charts quite well. You can put lots of extra additional like asteroids and things like that, like asteroid talent. I might do a show on talent, for instance, coming up. There's an asteroid money. There's an asteroid abundantia to do with abundance, and more to do with love. But today I'm just going to stick with the planets. And I'm also, in fact, I need to go into, oh no, let's go back. I'm also going to be looking at the transits. So this here is the position of all the planets at your birth, Heather. So you've got your sun in Aquarius, your moon in Pisces. I've got my moon in Pisces as well. You've got your Pluto at 6 degrees in the sign of Libra. So, you know, this is like if you were born and you looked up at the sky and noted where all of the planets of the zodiac were, that's your map. That's your birth chart. And around the outside is the current positions as of the 8th of January, 2025, which is when I'm recording this. So this is what I'm going to be working on today. And my job here, I should notice the time actually. Okay. My job here is to interpret what these connections might mean in terms of what it is that you'd like to know. And you would like to know how to get out of your current funk. So that's interesting. And then, you know, I'll be interpreting what the position of these current planetary positions are meaning as well. So the first thing I'm drawn to, I should say that whilst I'm looking at this chart, I'm not looking at the chat room. So if you do send me a message, I won't look at it until after I've done Heather's mini reading. Okay, wish me luck. The first thing I want to share with you actually, Heather, is your North Node is at 27 degrees in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, that's a really magical place. It's actually the place of where the galactic center currently is lined up. And the galactic center I see as being really our conduit into the cosmos, you know, our conduit into all that is, everything that's invisible, everything that we don't understand, that we would really love to know about. And so, you know, the North Node represents, you know, what we might need to be heading into. You know, the North Node really represents to me where our karmic journey is pushing us to go. So, and your North Node is in the 10th house, which is about your career. So if you're not already doing something that is quite intuitive and cosmic and far out, or at least, at the very least, helping people understand their role in the world or helping alleviate suffering for people, then to me, it feels like, you know, there is a greater push on this. Now, one thing that I do know is the current position of the North Node and also Neptune is they're in a square to your North Node. Now, this is creating a bit of a challenge. And I do also know that in this year ahead, there's going to be a lot of activity in this point that is making a square to your North Node. So first thing I want you to sort of bear in mind is, you know, to kind of reassure you, is some of the feelings of confusion that have come up. Like in 2024, the North Node was just getting closer and closer to this square point, I think, giving possibly this feeling that there is something growing, there is something that wants to come out and be expressed in you. And yet there's a feeling of confusion as to how you do that. Possibly a feeling of confusion as to what that makes you. You know, for instance, if you were to express yourself in the way that you maybe feel completely aligned to, it might mean that you're a different person to the one that you thought you were. You know, that it might signal something different, and it might cause a sort of chain reaction in terms of how people think about you. So that's something obviously to consider, and that's not necessarily an easy thing to work on. Now, the great news is this spring, Neptune is going to go into a square with this point, as will the North Node. But to me, it feels like there are big changes coming up that are going to give you much more input and intel, like cosmic intel, giving you everything that you need to know to be able to step your way out of it. Now, each of these new birthings for you might come with some confusion at first. So it might feel a little bit difficult at first, like it might get suddenly a bit cloudier. But if you can hold the thought, when it gets confusing and you don't know who you are, so if you hear yourself say to yourself, I don't know who I am right now, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? That's your time to say, Louisa said that when it gets confusing, this is my time to lean in to the confusion, like lean into the open space of possibilities, and kind of say, life, I am open. I'm really ready to find out how I'm needed. Let me know, show me a sign, because this is all very much about cosmos, karma, the kind of unseen workings of the world. To me, it's the unseen that's going to come and meet you and kind of tell you what you need to do. Moreover, you've got Neptune in almost an exact conjunction with your midheaven. Neptune is the planet of intuition. You know, I know lots of artists, healers, musicians, psychics who have Neptune in such a strong conjunction with the midheaven. It makes you absolutely empathic and, you know, really compassionate. You kind of feel everything, which can be very, very difficult. And I note that in this last year, your energy probably really went down because Saturn was back and forth over your moon, as it was on mine. And Saturn over the moon, especially in your first house, can really bring about a feeling of reduction of energy, like a reduction in your vitality. And because I'm born the same year as you, I know we've both had big birthdays in the last year, so that added into it. You know, as Saturn's going over your moon, I imagine will have created a bit of a mindset of you know, how much, you know, is this how my body's going to be? Can I pull my body back? So I do think there are some sort of like body issues in terms of how to move forwards and regain your energy. Mars retrograde currently won't be helping, but he will be going forwards, I think, from the 24th or the 27th of February. So you will start to feel much more vibrant from the end of February. But don't give up until then. You know, between that time and now, it's your time to consider how you can internally work on your structures. So they're the like first main bits. Now there's a much bigger piece that's also falling in, and anyone that like is a massive fan of astrology is going to be saying, but Louisa, you haven't even mentioned Pluto. Now Pluto is very, very close to your Venus retrograde, and it will be lining up in a conjunction with your Sun over, it's going to be another like 3 years, but Pluto is currently lining up you know, next to your Venus. If you're not already in a love relationship, to me, it feels like love, the way you work with your relationships, the way you are related to others, the way you share, the way like your openness to sharing with people has been going through some changes. And most likely it's gone through some stress. Now, sorry if I sound like I'm trying to get a lot out in one go, I really am. You know, what strikes me is I want to take you back to March to June, let's say, of 2023. What were you going, like, what was happening in terms of your relationships back then? And what was happening in terms of your relationship with yourself? And then from January 2024 until, say, May 2024, what was going on again with your relationship to self and your feelings of you know, connection with other people? Because whatever was going on in those 2 periods of time, I think is like information as to how you may well be moving and relating to others in this next period of your life for the next 3 or 4 years. In particular, you know, Pluto is going through your 12th house. That does bring a mystery in terms of it's opening up the mystery of your intuitive mind. It can bring up a lot of fears about the future. Pluto is quite a strong planetary energy, but we've all got Pluto somewhere. It's just, Pluto for you is, working on your inner programs, your self-sabotage, your inner fears that might play into your success and into health concerns and things like that. But I can see you're such a sacred and such an intense and all-feeling soul. And I know, having had Pluto come over my sun and my Venus, and I know from working with other people with Pluto going over these personal planets, that he is bringing in a massive transformation. So what I want to leave you with is some advice that you might, even if it doesn't make sense right now, it might be helpful advice over the next 3 to 4 years, because it's a kind of ongoing development. Like, life is helping you come out of stuck situations and stuck connections with people. Life is wanting you to have really intense relationships, but from a place of freedom and spontaneity. When you feel free to be related with people and to share space and to share a deep friendship with people, your intense connection with people gets stronger. So, for instance, if you are already working in an intuitive field with other people, the more you can work on your own vibration and being free in your own vibration, funnily enough, the clearer and cleaner your connection to other people are going to be. So my absolutely sort of dear advice to you right now is work as much on your own vibration as you can, knowing that your relationship to yourself is what is the fundamental relationship. Like, it determines how you relate to other people and the quality of your relationship with other people. Any fears that are coming up about losing people, being overwhelmed, being at the whim of somebody else's manipulations, all those kinds of fears to do with relating to others, they're keeping you in substandard relationships. And again, it starts with you kind of creating a sacred space for you to trust yourself and know yourself. And it may well feel sort of antithetical to be working on your own energetic space in terms of your relationships. But actually, as you get fuller in yourself and your experience, and you allow yourself to transform and to feel truly free and liberated in yourself, you'll find your relationships just get stronger and stronger and stronger. And some of those self-sabotaging behaviors that may well have come up because, I don't know, Pluto coming into this area can sometimes bring in very, very dominant people into our lives, and it takes a lot of energy and presence to be able to handle a really strong character. Not all, I think a lot of people have this idea that strong people equal bad people to be in relationships with, but not necessarily. You could have the most intense and enjoyable and beautiful journeys of discovery by being in relationship with people that might bring up some challenges. But what I think is you need to create the safety in yourself first. So there's a whole bunch of themes going on there. One other thing I really do want to share with you is, you've gone through a very big astrological energy that we all go through around about 49 to 51 called the Chiron return. And so in the last year in particular, when it was really active in your chart, that's a time when we often come up close and personal with our hurts from childhood. So it may well mean that, anything like, I suspect you've had some very sort of like strong manipulative people coming into your life and triggering some of these old hurts. So in terms of creating the space, the sacred space for yourself, it really is, it's about working through that old stuff, the old behaviors, old beliefs about yourself that have left you feeling less than. This is all to be resolved. This Chiron return, I think you've had all the harsh lessons that you've needed so far. So, I really hope that helps. So in terms of getting out of your funk, recognize that you're on a sacred mission. There is something very, very strong about your mission. Recognize that it involves creativity, intuition, compassion, forgiveness. Let go the feelings of my body's not up to it. That's the programming of last year. And, you know, the patterns of the planets last year. You know, reassure yourself that those challenging energies are moving on to help you rebuild your health. And notice, you know, if you're feeling less than because of your interactions with other people, take it as a sign that there's more for you to develop in yourself. It's an invitation to grow stronger in yourself. And, you know, you probably already have a whole list of ideas and resources to hand to help strengthen you up. And whatever feels right, that's where to go. Seriously, just follow the signs that intuition is leading you towards and you'll be just fine. I hope that was helpful. You know, whenever I look at a chart, I always recognize that there's just so very much that I would love to share with people, but I also absolutely want to be able to work with some other people as well. So I hope that was helpful to you. Lots and lots of love. So let's move on and have a look. Let's pull out another name. Actually, before I do that, let's just we've got some more messages coming in. So we've got Margarita. Hi, nice for you to join me. I hope you enjoy the show. We've also got is that Mega Urbana? Please forgive me if I've pronounced your name wrong. Got April. Hi, April. Thank you so much for those happy emojis. I know you've entered the competition today. We've also got Svats. I've also got, I hope I pronounced this right, Sierra. Go under description for this video and you'll find a link to click on. It will take you to a new tab to fill out some information. Happy to help. That's great. Thank you for being helpful. I really, really appreciate that. Unfortunately, Svats, I've already pulled out all of the names for today's show, but you can leave your details and join in for next show for sure. And got some lovely people in the chat room. Also, Hawthorne is saying how exciting. So that's great. You know, that's great. So let's welcome to the show, Hawthorne, and also Svats from New Zealand. Hiya. I've also got Heather Johns. Heather, this was your reading, wasn't it, that I've just done? Amazing. Thank you. Lots resonated. That's fantastic. I'm so pleased. Truly, that's fantastic. Okay, so let's pull another name out. Okay. I do know there is somebody's birthday coming up, but this isn't this one. Okay, so the next person's chart that I'm going to be looking at is Helena. So what I'm going to do is let's make that bigger. And I'm going to put in another chart. So again, if you are new and you want to put in your own chart, create your own chart on astrodeets.com, that's astro.com, then I absolutely recommend you do. Helena, how's it going so far? Is it going well? Right, so we've got somebody born in 1975. So Helena's born in 1975. So Helena, this is a big year for you, like in terms of birthdays. And weirdly enough, I was just talking about a Chiron return with Heather, and you'll be probably going through your Chiron return right now as well. So you're in Coimbra, Portugal. Okay, so let's have a look at your chart. So let me just check that. 20th of April, 1975, 7:45 p.m, Coimbra. Okay. So let's have a look. So you'll see that all charts are very different. Thank you so much, Svats. So amazing you doing this. I love doing this. I feel very blessed to do this. Right, I'm not going to be looking at the chat room for a few minutes. So what's the time? Okay, right. Let's have a look. Now, Helena is also in a funk. So Helena would like to know how to get out of her funk. So what do I notice straight away? Well, this one, first of all, Pluto, right down at the bottom of the chart. These darker lines are known as angles. And Helena has currently got Pluto down here, and Mars retrograde right on her midheaven. I'm imagining, Helena, you're feeling quite frustrated right now, because there's 101 things that you'd like to do, and you probably don't quite have the energy to do it. Or every time you're trying to physically do things right now, it feels like there's lots of things stopping you, in particular in terms, I don't know, like, obviously what you do for a living in terms of a career. But to me, it just feels like all of these outward experiences that you're wanting to have feel slightly like they're being scuppered right now, that you're being sort of like pulled backwards. Every time you're trying to move forwards, it feels like you're being pushed backwards. The good news about this is that will be changing in the third week of February, when Mars starts to go forwards again. However, Mars is going to be going into a retrograde in your 9th house, and he's going to be stopping very, very close to your Saturn around February. And so to me, I don't know where in the world you are right now, but like things to do with being away from home, doing different things, sort of embracing a higher vibration, like things like studying and learning, and possible legal matters right now, might feel like these are all slowing down, because this part of the chart is all about these kind of great adventurous experiences. So you might be quite frustrated wanting to do things and just feeling like you're being stopped left, right and center. Now, I can see you are going to be going through your Chiron return in this year ahead. The next thing, I mean, there's quite a few things about your chart that are very striking to me. So for instance, Chiron is at 24 degrees, and it's exactly in a conjunction. It's exactly in the same space. That's what a conjunction means. It's exactly in the same space as your descendant. Now, the descendant is like each of these lines represents a different quadrant of life. And so this is very much about your birth and you as an individual and your body and your space. And this is everything to do with everybody else. And so with Chiron, who is the, I guess we could say he's the wounded healer, but he's also the guy who learns to transcends his woundings and then becomes a coach, a mentor, and becomes like he grows beyond it. He kind of sacrifices an area of life to kind of to move beyond his woundings. So the Chiron point in our chart is really sensitive. And so to me, this is an indication that most likely you have attracted a series of people into your life who may well be a bit wounded, or who need a lot of love and attention. Possibly people that it always feels like it's pouring out of you all the time, like you're giving your energy to help other people, and it probably feels quite tiring. Now, you haven't actually gone through your Chiron return yet, and that is actually coming in this year when Chiron is coming to this point. So probably the first thing that I would ask you is, where in your relationships do you feel comfort? Where in your relationships do you feel ease? And where in your relationships do you feel triggered and re-triggered and upset? Because I think what's really coming up for you in this year ahead, or one of the things that's coming up for you in this year ahead, is finding a new kind of comfort and ease in your relationships with other people. Now, in terms of relationships where you're getting triggered, the Chiron isn't necessarily about hurts developing later on in life, or like when you're 30 someone does something and that is your mortal wounding. I'm not to say that something that happened at 30 wasn't of interest, definitely not saying that, or trying to talk down about any of your real lived experiences. But in childhood, often these patterns are set up, and Chiron really shows us where something significant happens, and we learn something, we learn a pattern about relationships. And I suspect with Chiron so close to the descendant, you've learned a pattern that you need to help other people, that you've learned that putting other people's needs first is more important, and kind of holding back from having your needs expressed or understood or attended to. It feels like everything, like you've got your Sun and Mercury also in the 7th house, really showing that, you know, you put so much energy on other people expressing themselves. And you are also pretty social. I mean, you've got your ascendant in the sign of Libra, which makes you very collaborative in wanting to work with partners and stuff. But I also notice you've got Uranus in your 1st house, and it's really close to your ascendant, and that also brings up a very strong need to be independent as well. And these two energies are often at odds. You'll need to be in relationships with other people, and to work and help them. And then you'll need to cut your own direction and to find your own way. And, you know, this is quite troubling. You know, like, how do you get your needs met? Do you have to go off on your own to meet your own needs? Do other people meet your needs? Will you allow other people to meet your needs? Possibly one of the greatest things you can learn to do, as I'm looking at this, obviously, without having spoken to you, as you know, obviously it's a live reading. I've never met you before. I don't think. You know, what occurs to me is people might not be able to reach you to help you when you need help, because you're so used to putting it out there. And whilst that's a great thing that you're helping other people, it doesn't allow you to be fully vulnerable. And of course, when you're not fully vulnerable, people don't realize you need help. They just think, oh, look, there's Helena. She's just so independent. She copes with everything. She's so cool. And, you know, so yeah, I wonder how that dynamic is playing out, because these kind of dynamics are likely to come on this year. And the quickest way out of a relationship funk is to start attending to your needs first. And it's important you do it for yourself. But then when you realize there might be space for other people to be able to do you things, you know, I wonder how it would be for you to ask somebody to help you with something, even if you might be troubling them and taking them out of their way. I wonder if you could do that. And what might you learn if somebody is like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. Actually, a lot of people really do want to help, and they just probably don't realize that you need it. Now, this is really, really significant. You've had Pluto going over the angle to do with your home, and Pluto is in your 4th house. So I imagine that over the last couple of years in particular, when I would say the end of 2003 and the first half of 2024, you know, Pluto coming up so close to the house and the home has created some disturbance in the way you live, possibly with who you're living with or where you're living, or things going on with the people in your life, you know, like maybe like the people you live with. I don't know if you have children or not, but you know, to me, it feels like there's been a big disturbance. And, you know, wherever Pluto is, he's telling us not to control things. Even though wherever he goes, he kind of brings a certain amount of chaos. And you are wanting to kind of control things. But really what Pluto is trying to teach us, I think, is to trust that we need to kind of step out of the way and let what needs to happen. And you know, like, it's important that we have a vision of where we're going, but that we don't direct it too closely. I'll give you an example. So, for instance, you know, I was single for 6 years, wanting to like meet my other half. And during that time, I had a real like strong list of qualities that I was expecting in my new partner. And I was being really directive. You know, I was using the law of attraction and this, that, and the other. But what I wasn't doing was holding the vision of how I needed to feel or how I wanted to feel in this. I was kind of giving this like shopping list of what I needed, but not really being open to life giving me the signs of what I needed. And I think when we're too directive with a Pluto transit, we're fighting with life, because often, and this is what I realized, if I had stuck at my list, I would never have met my husband, because there were parts on my list and parts on his list, and we just didn't match up, and we wouldn't have matched up even though we were technically on the same 2 dating sites. However, as luck would have it, life kind of put us into each other's orbits. And the moment we got into each other's sort of energy, like, everything sort of came to life. We realized that, life knew who our real partners were. And all I needed to do was step out of my way, stop trying to control what felt like I needed to control. So this is huge. Now, I do want to give you a date, and it's the 27th of April, because there's something else that's also going on. Just looking at the time. And that is, we've got this Mars and Pluto opposition. Now, they went into an exact opposition on the 3rd of November. They went into an exact opposition again on the 3rd of January, and they're going into a final exact opposition on the 27th of April, and then they're going to start separating. Now, they're going to go into an opposition every 2 years, roughly. When they go into an opposition, and the fact that they're doing it over this line, it's creating a real big tension from things feeling stuck at home, and also not feeling like you have enough control at home, versus this kind of desire to be following your career, following your flow, So following your career, following your flow, and being able to get on and do things. It almost feels like during this time, and most likely in the last couple of years as well, there are these times when it feels like your private life is stopping you from doing your public life. And because of your public life, it's creating problems for your private life. So it feels like you're in a no-win situation. Whatever went on the 3rd of November, and what was recently happening around the 3rd of January, what feelings you were going through in terms of frustration and feeling conflicted between home and away and in your career, like, write it down, journal it, do a brainstorm about it, examine all of your beliefs that might be involved in this situation. Because to me, it could have a lot to do with relationships, but it's also, what are you allowing in your relationships, and where are you trying to control things? This is going to be part of a pattern that comes up every 2.5 years. However, it's also a pattern that can put us into a place of real power. And when we get underneath the original blockage, or like the self-sabotaging program you've got running, you can find like this new energy kind of gets really released. This is for sure one of the toughest times, because of this long drawn out, Mars and Pluto are normally only in opposition for a couple of weeks at a time, and then they're out of that. It's unfortunate that this one is going on for 6 years. The next one isn't. It's like, done and dusted in a couple of weeks, and so on and so forth. But it's going to be a bit of a theme, so make a note of it. Last thing that I want to share with you, and that is, there is going to be like the North Node is changing signs just next week, in the next few days. And he's going to be highlighting the 5th house, to do with relationships, to do with what lights you up, to do with your hobbies, to do with children, if you've got children. And the South Node is going to be highlighting your 11th house, to do with friendships. And so again, really what I want to sort of echo with you, the biggest thing to get you out of your funk, I think, in this next year, is to work out that your needs do need to come first. Everywhere where you're putting others first, you are almost like cutting off your legs. It's like you're stopping your own beautiful evolution, your own flowering. And of course, when you're stopping your own flowering, you're not then getting the quality attention and love from the people around you that you would normally get. You're here to blossom forth and light yourself up in your own unique way with your own unique skills. And, you know, you've got your moon in Leo. I mean, you're probably a really quite dramatic storyteller, and, you know, you've got a lot of life in you. So yeah, I guess the last thing I just want to share with you is allow yourself to evolve by putting your needs first, and that will absolutely transform your relationships. Be okay with being a queen or a princess sometimes. You know, if you can ask to have your needs met and say, like, help people out a little bit, you know, trust them to do it, and they'll do it in their own way, and you might not like their results when they're trying to help you, but allow other people in and see to your own needs, and things will start to transform quite quickly. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for checking in with me. And yeah, I hope your big birthday goes well in this year ahead. So let's see, we've got more comments coming in. Penny saying your live shows are brilliant, Louisa. Thank you so much, Penny. I know you, I mean, Penny and I have known each other for a while. We actually met just last year for the very first time, but we've been in communication for at least 5 or 6 years. So it's really, really lovely to meet you. And you are a bit of a supporter and a fan. That's nice. We've got Richard Laws joining us as well. Hi from the Lake of the Ozarks. Nice to meet you, Richard. Thanks for joining us. Newbie is saying, almost sounds like me, but I'm trying not to do that anymore. Being the giver can be a control thing. That's me. Do you know what? I love the fact that you said that. You know, I've always thought of myself as a giver. I do recognize it was really hard for me to accept it in myself. But I realized that my people pleasing also allowed me to control situations. It's a really hard one to work through because you end up asking yourself, well, you know, I'm sure there is a part of me that is actually a people pleaser, but then you've also got this additional strategy of, if I please people, I'll get something in return. And of course, I think other people smell a rat and you get served less, you know. So it's a tough one. Here's a new person. Hi, I'm Davine Bourne. Bless you. Thank you for sharing your details. I would love to know how love will be evolving from me. I'm single. Davine, I'm so sorry. I've got, if you put your details into there should be some descriptions in the notes of this show. And if not, I'll post them right at the end. But I've got a form for you to fill out. And if you put your details in, I'll add you to next week's show. And I have a hat with everybody's entrances in, and I pick them out fairly. So not everyone does get a reading, but please do write in, because I'd love to be able to read for you and help you find out how love is evolving for you. Thank you so much. Milan is saying, are you doing mini readings for people? I am, and this is a weekly thing. Every time, like every week at this point, at this time, wherever you are in the world, this will be the time that I'm doing it from 8 o'clock. That's UK. I'm in Portugal, but we're in the same time zone. So check out the details in the description of this show. There's a link to a form. Fill it in, and then I'll consider you for the next show. Heyo from burning LA. Oh, hi, Emma. I saw some pictures of the fires in California. My goodness. It's terrifying. I hope you're well. I've got the Foolish Empress. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Definitely not the 51st state. Love your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Miri B. Hi, Miri. Louisa is amazing. I did my yearly forecast with her. Oh, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to do it as well. Emma B is saying, it's wild. Oh, that's about the fires. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Right. This is the time now to pick my next person. And to me, it looks like it's going to be the last person. So I'm sorry I didn't do 4. But hopefully everyone gets something out of this. So, oh, okay. Who is this? Oh, this is a reading for Donna Marie. Now, I have done a reading for Donna Marie in the past. Right, let's pop this in. Congratulations, Donna. 28th of... I often find that there's something that links everybody's charts together. as I go through these things. So 2250. So yeah, sorry that I wasn't able to read everybody's charts today, but hopefully you'll get something out of it. I really do hope so. So Donna Marie is also asking about getting out of the funk. And I've just seen something that is absolutely part of a recurring pattern. This is brilliant. Okay, so so there's Donna's chart. I'm just checking that it's come through. So can you all see, if you're looking at these charts, that everybody's chart is laid out so differently? You know, you get different shapes. That's what I really love about reading birth charts. They're like snowflakes to me. I really see them as a portal, and I feel like I'm getting like drawn in. Okay, where do I want to start with Donna's? Well, the first thing, we've got that 27 degrees again in the sign of Sagittarius. It's actually where my sun is in my birth chart. And it's never a surprise, actually, that the people who want me to work with them the most, often we have similar points. So in one person's chart, their moon was where my moon is. And then two of them, one had their north node on my sun, and Donna has her ascendant in the same place as my sun. But Donna, I don't know if I shared this with you in the last time I looked at your chart, but 27 degrees in the sign of Sagittarius is connected to the galactic center. Funnily enough, this show is going out on New Reality TV, and you might be watching from newrealitytv.com, but I'm their resident astrologer, and they were asking for the right time to launch this channel, and I actually gave the launch chart for this channel the ascendant of 27 degrees in the sign of Sagittarius, because it's so damn cosmic, you know. So Donna, like, you know, I just first of all just want to acknowledge, you know, the more you can be cosmic. And Donna is also asking about coming out of her funk. So the first thing is you absolutely have to acknowledge how funky you are, and to go with the funk. Like, not like the funk, you know, feeling drained, but, you know, acknowledge that you are here also with your unique mission. You've also got your moon in Sagittarius. You know, so your heart is absolutely free and wanting to be expanded. And your moon in the 12th house is so deeply intuitive. You know, it's really important for you to honor your intuition as deeply as you can, and to work compassionately and harmoniously, and in an as expanded way as you can. That's absolutely vital. Now, what's catching my attention? That's the thing that I really need to. Where is my real focus going? Yeah, a bit of that going on. You're through your Chiron return, which is good. That's great. Well, okay. The first thing I want to let you know, the worst is over. That's what I want you to know. Okay. So Pluto's current position. So Pluto has been a consistent theme with all three people. So for you, the last few years have been especially challenging. Pluto has been in a conjunction with your North Node, creating all these kind of life changes, these sort of karmic situations in particular, where you might have been in danger, where your physical body might have been affected, you know, and possibly your health. You know, to me, it feels like, I say your body, like this part of the chart is about your body, your identity, how you consider yourself to be. So it is how you look and how you come across. It's like if you were a chocolate bar, it's like the whole wrapper of, you know, and the ingredients inside. It's like everything has changed. You know, Pluto coming over this very sort of deep and resonant point in your chart has absolutely been changing you at a fundamental level, body, mind, soul. And as you were going through those changes, it's like the outside world was changing with you. And most likely the outside world was changing around you. And actually that was your cue. Like the more it was changing around you, the more it was it's almost like life was trying to kind of say, look, I want to knock on wood, or knock on. It's like knock on, knocking on the wall. It's like, Donna, like watch the signs. It's time to wake up. It is time to get really present that your life is, it's going through a massive change, and you must start to hear our call. So, you know, I know I haven't read your chart for a good few years, I don't think, or very, very lightly. But to me, it feels like you've already gone through the majority of those changes. However, I do think that this Mars and Pluto opposition has been really playing into what's going on for you. So I suspect you've been feeling like there's more drama coming up. And maybe there are repeated echoes, you know, like when you drop a stone in water and you get the ripples and you get the same ripples of energy. What I want you to know is, as the drama is coming up, please don't fear that you're going back into the main dramas of yesterday and the day before and the year before that and the year before that, because actually what's coming up now is a whole new pattern. And the first thing you need to sort of acknowledge is just trust that everything that is coming up has a purpose. And the quicker you say to yourself, your higher self, to God, the quicker you say, okay, you've got my attention. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? How do I serve? The quicker it all stops and changes and transforms. So, you know, Pluto here has, I think, taught you, you really don't have any control over your life. Sorry to laugh. It's like, there is no control. Control is an absolute illusion. What you've learned here is that the best control comes, or that feeling of control comes when you trust that life has got your back, and trust, look, yeah, it seems pretty bad right now, but I know that life is I know something's about to change. I feel it. So it's like the quicker you feel it in your bones, in your every cell, it's like absolutely changing your vibration at the most fundamental way. Like feeling the acceptance. I know this is all good. I know this is okay. You know, you are on the outer ripples of that initial kind of trauma. So that's the first thing that I want you to know. But you're probably feeling some of those ripples coming up from the 3rd of November, then recently on the 3rd of January, and the last one will be around the 27th of April. And like I said, I think to Helena, it's really important to just whatever came up during those 3 times to kind of journal about it, like tune into it, because there was some kind of struggle, like some kind of energy battle that you were going into. And it might felt like it was you against life. And it might have felt like it was completely justified to go to war with what appeared to be circumstances outside of yourself coming in and messing it up for you. But the reality is there was something within you that was also fighting yourself. So, you know, like these difficulties have been, there's, you know, one side of you wanting to do one thing and another side of you wanting to do another. And like holding those two different kind of set points has kind of like almost pulled you apart. And then the outer like the outer world around us has been mirroring what you've been feeling inside. And so do you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm just going to go to another site called Astro-Seek. I'm just going to stop this share and bring up, I will come back to you in a second. I'm going to bring up astroseek.com because I think this is going to be useful for everybody. Stop that share. God, this really is live, isn't it? When I'm going to different sites. So this is a resource for everyone who feels like they've been fighting against themselves. So Astroseek will bring up the details of all sorts of aspects. Now I'm talking about Pluto 180 degrees away from Mars. And I'm talking about it from, let's say, from October 2024. So what I'm doing is a search to find out the next few times, or, you know, when Pluto and Mars are going into opposition with each other. So the next time is in October 2026. So if you've got a pen, come quickly write this down. So around October 2026, you could put the 3rd of October, but it's like a week either side of these. It's worth just making a note of it. And I'll just tell you the next one after that, the 15th of September 2028. You know, these are the times, like these 3 times. So we've had the November the 3rd, we've had January the 3rd. The next one is on the 27th of April. Anywhere where you're not feeling, oh, sorry, I didn't add it to the screen. So there it is. It's on the screen. So hopefully you can see those dates. But anywhere where you're feeling like you're, so this is for everybody, anywhere where you're feeling absolutely like you're pulled apart by the energies right now and you're in 2 minds about it, especially if you've got a strong Scorpio energy or a strong Aries energy, it's really worth monitoring this particular set of oppositions, because on those next 2 dates, and you could do the similar search like I did, literally go to astro-seek.com and search. In fact, I'll just go back because you didn't see me search for it. So I went to Astro Tools, down to Aspect Search, put in Pluto. An opposition is 180 degrees. Mars, and let me just reset that to October 2024, because that's when I want to search from. And there it goes. It brings up your dates. So the 3rd of October, September the 15th, 2028. So they are the next big dates. Now I'm just going to go back to Donna's chart just for another couple of seconds. Let me just share that properly. Okay, there it is. Okay, so Donna, your chart's back. And then I'm just going to do a couple of minutes in the chat room. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of time. So yeah, Donna, okay, last thoughts for you, my love. Yeah, you absolutely have to stay firm in your conviction that you know the worst is behind you. You're a magical creator, really strong magical creator. You are being called into your creative energy, into your cosmicness, your being, your empathy, your compassion. Anything you don't know right now, put it out to God, put it out to, you know, whatever your method is, like put it out there and say, like, what do I need to know right now that I don't already know? And watch for the signs and follow them. I absolutely know what you've learned in the last few years is to trust yourself and trust life and to trust that relationship between you two. And it will see you right. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. Right. Okay. I'm just going to share some more comments. We've got loads coming in, and I do need to watch the clock as well. So Caitlin Timmers is saying, I was wondering where you have been. I am back. Yes. And there'll be a forecast on my YouTube channel very shortly in a couple of days' time. But this is also going out to newrealitytv.com. And this is where I'm going to be for New Reality every single week. Going forwards. The Foolish Empress is saying it's definitely a funky time. Sarah Serendipity saying hello from Ashburnham, Massachusetts. Hi to you. We've got Anne Lee. Hi from Perth, Australia. Hello. Decoded. Hello, everybody. Lots from Decoded. Las Vegas here. Christine S. This is wonderful. How generous of you. Thank you for doing the live chart readings. You're so welcome. Decoded with Mars and Pluto dance feels like a generational course of life is turning around. I would agree with that. Absolutely. For Scorpio, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Jodie Lee. Hi, Louisa. I'm late. Need to catch up on previous episodes. I'm afraid, Jodie Lee, your one wasn't looked at today, but hopefully I can look at it another time. And Decoded is saying, I love your new project. I do too. So thank you so much for all of your love and attention. And I hope that even though I didn't look at your particular chart, I really hope that you got something useful out of it, or maybe even learnt to look at your own chart in a new way. So yeah, I will be back here the same time next week. If you do want to apply, then check out the notes below where I will put in a form for you to fill in. So anyway, lots of love. See you next week. Bye for now. And if you've got a burning question that you'd like me to explore in a future show, then please do get in touch.